Hello, I'd like to talk about the Les Miserables, both books and musicals. Mostly musical though, because the books I read after I've seen the musicals for 13 or 14 or 15 times. I read the book just about time, right? Okay. But the books uh, goes into detail about the history of the things and so forth. But it's exactly the same. The gist of the particular books is all in a musical. So the people who made the musical had a very very good job to do that, and I really appreciate it. But anyway, so about the musicals, I saw the big placard in Broadway in 1986 or 5 or 6, maybe something like that, during the Christmas time or something. But it hasn't been played at the Broadway yet. I think London they have been playing, and London, the musical was a very very big hit there in the West End, and so the people is bringing to the Broadway, and they're kind of anticipating that's going to be a big hit too, and that's when I saw a big placard, the white background, and all the names of the people, the actors I would say, is going to be playing soon or something like that. That big placard was pasted on the streets of Broadway, and it was like a constructions going on, and it was like a wow, Les Mis, but how interesting. And I didn't know at the time what Les Mis, in London or anything. So wow, they are doing the musical based on the Victor Hugo's Les Miserables, huh? Oh, But then, after a couple of years, after 1 year maybe, or in that particular year, I saw the Tony presentation, and by the time the musical was a big hit in Broadway, and I decided to see it. So I think maybe a year later or something, I was traveling to Boston at the time, to go around to see the city of Boston, and from I think I would say that was from Detroit. I think, yeah, Detroit, Michigan. I think I drove to Boston, and I saw the musicals there, and it was fantastic, and it was like eye-opening, I would say, and it's like a subdued color, like a black and white, mostly black and white background, black and white costumes and everything. Once in a while, colorful things appear, but mostly subdued colors, and I really loved that. And the story was very, very strong and beautiful stories. And I was more than anything else, I was amazed how each individual performers, like Valjan, Fontaine, Javert, Marius, Cosette, Eponine, Angelos, Thénardiers, everybody, Gavroche included, and everybody sang beautifully, and it's one of the most satisfying attending the musical theater is to see this beautiful singing from each actors singing at the stage, and that's like a breath away, took my breath away, and so it became a very very strong experience for me, and from then on I try to see every performance of touring group or Broadway. If I had a chance, I wanted to see it, and yeah, that was very, very interesting. And after a while, 10th anniversary happens. That's my peak of my interest, and I saw this 10th anniversary broadcasting. That was fantastic. All those best performance of the in the past. Colm Wilkinson, is Valjan, and those Javert and Cosette and Eponines and Marius, Thénardier. Everybody was kind of first rate, and that I really enjoyed it. And then, like a 25 years anniversary or whatever, Alfie Beau played the Valjean. His voice was so beautiful, and so I love that too. And so those two versions of the stage production, not the whole musical, because I don't know why they don't do an entire musical with all the settings and everything from the stage. They should have done that, just like Hamilton did, but they never did. So anyway, that was a fantastic experience. More than that, the story of Valjean, and he, they stored a loaf of bread for starving sister's child, and then put it in prison like 3 years or something, and he escaped. So he was recaptured, and I think his years, become 19 years after a while, because he tried to escape so many times. And so Javert tried to catch him, so always this Valjean escaping from this past or shadows of this particular Javert's figure. And that's kind of poignant in a sense that it's not completely peaceful and happy, even though Valjean became the mayor of that particular city and well respected, and even then he was kind of afraid of being caught, and that's very, very human. And but Valjean's power is to, he's converted himself to be a more good person than the criminal or than the revengeful or whatever person. Even though so many things happened and mistreated and bad thing happened to him, he kind of became a good person just because he was exposed to this bishop's kindness in the very beginning, when he stole the candles from that particular inn where bishop was operating that particular inn there for poor people or some people who doesn't have a good fortune. And so that particular part is very, very strong all through. And in Victor Hugo's book, to love another person is to see the face of God. And that particular phrase is very, very good and very heartfelt and very strong saying there. And I'm not a Christian, I'm not a religious person, but even to me, it was a beautiful, beautiful way of saying things about, behaving good, behaving for another person, to love those people was very, very strong. So it is very, very good information on the life at the time when Valjean led, and all those different characters Fontaine, was kind of sad young mother, beautiful young mother, and Javert is very stern, follow the law, but after a while he lost his faith in law because of this guy he was chasing is something bigger than him, and so he couldn't bear that the past that he read trying to capture him and so forth, and he commits suicide as well. And then Eponine, who fall in love with Marius, and but Marius loved Cosette, and Eponine tried to help, even though requited love, she still tried to help Marius, and she died at the barricades, and that was a beautiful scene. I think one of the most beautiful songs that Eponine sang, On My Own, has been very, very popular, especially among the young girls who fell in love with the story of Les Mis. To identify as an Eponine rather than Cosette. So that, tremendous. And one of the surprising things that was when I saw the first time I saw it in Boston, I saw Angela's, and I never expected Angela's part is so big, but it was so big in that musical theater version, and he sang black and red and black, and red, black, and that particular scene was so stunning, and the stage presentation was so stunning. I was like mesmerized how beautiful that is. And the musical itself became a movies. And movies always, I wish they could make it better. Yeah, even though the Hugh Jackman in it and Russell Crowe was a Javert, and Hathaway is a Fontaine, and Redmayne is the Marius. They are all good, but nothing like live stage version of the Les Miserables. And although many people died there, most people die, 90% of the people die in that particular story, Cosette and Marius survive, and that's very, very positive there. So even the bad time, all those where bad things happen to your lifetime, I think there is always this hope in there, and I really felt that way too. I think that's one of the reasons that musical became so popular worldwide, all over the world. So even in France, people kind of scorn at the Broadway theater, or why the treasure of the story of Victor Hugo become a musical. That's a travesty. That's what they thought in the beginning. But that's not true, though. I mean, the creator started from France. I mean, those French creators, Michel Schoenberg and Alain Boubory, made this concept album, I think, initially, and that's why Cameron Mackintosh in the West End decided to, this could be a stage musical, and that's why the musical was performed in London first, and then became all over the world. So we went to also Paris versions of Les Mis, finally. But anyway, so I visited Victor Hugo's house in Paris, and I went to the street where the barricades was built by students. I went there, and I almost cried there. So that's how I became in love with musical and the story. The book is exactly the same as the musical, and you don't have to read it if you don't have time to do it. But if you read it, I think you doubly enjoy the Les Mis. But today, I think this year especially, all the Broadways they're closed. But hopefully that's going to come back. There's always hope in this particular dismal era. I think there is always hope. So that is the case. Okay, bye.